Hey ladies, Sarah Michelle here. Today we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics. And that is solo sex, solo play, masturbation. I'm so excited. Okay. I love this topic because I think that it's so taboo, and I don't even know why it's so taboo. I mean, I'm sure we could go through the history of patriarchy and all this different stuff, but you need it. Just do it. I have so much fun with it. By the way, maybe we should just start this video out with join the Peachy Pussy group on Facebook. Join our Peachy, I think it's called the Peachy Pussy for sure. And then it's like living with passion, pleasure, and purpose. I might have those in the wrong order or whatever, but those three things, all super important. So join us in there. We actually have a solo sex challenge in there that is so fun. It's 5 days of diving into your own energy, getting into it with yourself, and just really exploring pleasure and play and enjoying it. So here's why it's so important. Many of us grow up not talking about it with family, probably not even talking about it too much with friends. It's far too socially acceptable for a woman to not have an orgasm or not have a sex drive. I think the not have a sex drive is far worse, by the way. That women get older, have a career, have children, have a husband, and all of a sudden they're just okay with the fact that they have all these other things going on in their life, but they have no sex drive. Hello? And no, I am not telling you to please find your sex drive, because if you're not having sex with your man, some other woman is. That's some bullshit story somebody told you. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying you need a sex drive for yourself. That sex drive is coming from your sacral chakra, so that second chakra. It's right around where your uterus is, right? So kind of in between your pelvic area and your belly button. It's right. Cannot stand back far enough to be it's right here. Okay. This is your life force energy. This is your creative energy. This is how you're connecting with the universe and manifesting and creating the life and the desires you have. So even if we're not talking about can you have an orgasm or not, which by the way, I feel is very important, we are talking about how connected to life are you? How awake and alive are you? How much are you enjoying the pleasure of being? How much are you embracing your feminine energy, which we should talk about in another video, by the way, masculine versus feminine energy. But this is all so important. If you do not have a sex drive right now, if your sex drive is lower than you want it to be, if you're not enjoying sex with your partner, if you don't have a partner but you still want to be enjoying the pleasure of an orgasm or the pleasure of your body and just feeling the waves of pleasure, I'm just going to say it 100 times in this video. This is all reason to start your solo play. And by the way, if you haven't been doing it for a while or you've never done it, I totally know that this can be hugely intimidating. I barely masturbated growing up. And then I got to this point in my marriage where it was I wanted to do it. I had a stronger sex drive than he did. I'm not the type of person that's gonna cheat, so I wasn't going out and trying to find it anywhere else. And so I had a passion party or something, one of those MLM things where they'll come into the home and teach you how to use their vibrators and toys. I got my first one. It was called the Leaf. It was wonderful for a long time, but it was also small because, everything seemed so freaking intimidating when you get started. So I seriously, if you're just starting out and everything is too much for you, I totally get you, girl. I have been there. I actually would only masturbate when my husband was at work and in my office. I had to be away from anyone and everything, and it was really challenging at first because you have all these voices in your head that start telling you how wrong it is, how hard it is, how it's not worth it, how angry you are at your spouse that you should even be doing this because he should be doing this for you. All of these emotions and energies come up, and programming, just programming, shit that isn't true, but it's in your body and you gotta work through it. You gotta release it. You gotta move past it, right? And I'm not talking about moving past it by just going, oh shit, that's a stupid idea, I'm gonna let that one go. I'm talking about actually feeling in your body, letting that energetic release going, letting that energetic release go so that it's truly out of your energy. And you'll start seeing yourself move forward and move forward and move forward. It'll become easier and more pleasurable. And even now, if you're someone who's more experienced or was more experienced, like maybe before, common story that I hear from women is like, in college, I was so sexual. I loved having sex. I loved masturbating. I was doing all these things. But now I'm with my husband and, you know, it's not as good as it used to be. We've had kids now. And, you know, it's just not as important because I've got other things to do and I just don't have the time. Well, girl, you got the time. You need to make the time. And I would love for you to make the time to actually spend 20, 30 minutes with yourself once a week at least, to really like get in there and feel the pleasure, connect with your body, connect with that feminine energy, connect with God. But if you're not there yet, or you just really feel like you can't do it yet, just get the damn vibrator out, get yourself from 0 to 60 in 90 seconds, and call it good. The idea is that you're moving back into that energy. You're still taking 90 seconds to get yourself there, right? But you're not doing all the complicated stuff. Sometimes it feels a lot more complicated for women to use your hands. So I will admit that I am impatient, and a lot of times I don't fucking use my hands. I often use tools, right? Because that's just me, that's impatience. And then I take the time, you know, once a week or a couple times a month to really create a process there. Because something we're not going to talk about in this video, but you will hear about in the Solo Sex Challenge if you join and get that, is that however we play with ourselves and however deep we go with ourselves is the energetic level that we're going to call in a mate on. Right? That's what they're gonna come in at. So if you want sex that is mind-blowing and opens your full feminine energy to God, you need to be doing that for yourself. You can't just wait for a guy to show up and do it for you, because there's a really, really freaking good chance he's not gonna show up and do that for you, because he's not gonna be an energetic match for you. So even if he shows up ready to do that, you haven't done the inner work to be ready to relax, to surrender, to open your body and allow those waves of pleasure to move through. So many of us get stuck in this clitoral orgasm, and even worse, like a half-assed clitoral orgasm. You know, like, you don't want to be that person. You don't want to settle, right? You're ambitious, you're beautiful, you're smart. You want to take the bull by the horns. Like, do it in the bedroom too. And I'm not talking about dominating your man unless you're into that thing. I'm saying, like, take your power back. Touch your fucking pussy. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, get comfortable with the word pussy. Like, you don't have to walk around saying it all the time, but take your power back around that. Pussy is not weak. Pussy is not a bad thing. You don't have to walk around like going to the doctor, my pussy really hurts. Like, I'm not saying you have to use that word all the time, but seriously, if that word triggers you, there's energy behind that. Work on that, release it. Don't let someone else or some other concept have that power over you. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say today, just to get you all started. Touch yourselves.